Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem Sukho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath, Syama Kund Radha Kund Giri Goran ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai, Shri Jamuna Ganga Mai Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Shri Shri Rukmini Dwarkadish ki jai, Nudwarka Dham ki jai, Gaur Premananda Haribo. All glories are some devotees. All glories are some devotees. All glories are some devotees. Jai Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, Text 31, Lord Krishna shows the universal form.
Okay, so this is conversational Sanskrit. I'm going to just read it myself and then Sura will do the synonyms responsibly. Evang darshtyanushati kurute meheradini vasto steyopaya virachitakriti supratiko yataste itang stribihi sa bhaya nayana shri mukhalokini bhir vyakyatartha prahasita mukhi na yupalabdum aichat.
And the word for word is? We didn't do that because of me. We did that because that's the way you do this verse. Evam, in this way. Darshyani, naughty activities. Ushati, in a neat and clean place. Kurute, sometimes does. Mehana adini, passing stool and urine. Vastao, in our houses. Steya upayai, and by inventing different devices to steal butter and milk. Virachita kriti is very expert. Supratika is now sitting down here like a very good, well-behaved child. Yata aste, while staying here. Itam, all these topics of conversation. Shrivi, by the gopis. Savayanayana, just now sitting there with fearful eyes. Shrimukha, such a beautiful face. Alokinibi, by the gopis who were enjoying the pleasure of seeing. Vyakyata artha, and while complaining against him before Mother Jasoda. Prahasamukhi, they were smiling and enjoying. Not. He, indeed. Upalabdum, to chastise and threaten. Rather, she enjoyed how Krishna was sitting there as a very good boy. Aichat, she desired. Translation. When Krishna is caught in his naughty activities, the master of the house will say to him, "Oh, you are a thief," and artificially express anger at Krishna. Krishna will then reply, "I'm not a thief, you're a thief," sometimes being angry. Krishna passes urine and stool in a neat, clean place in our houses. But now our dear friend Yasoda, this expert thief, is sitting before you like a very good boy. Sometimes all the gopis would look at Krishna sitting there, his eyes fearful so that his mother would not chastise him, and when they saw Krishna's beautiful face, instead of chastising him, they would simply look upon his face and enjoy transcendental bliss. Mother Yasoda would mildly smile at all this fun, and she would not want to chastise her blessed transcendental son. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna's business in the neighborhood was not only to steal, but sometimes to pass stool and urine in a neat, clean house. When caught by the master of the house, Krishna would chastise him, saying, "You're a thief." Aside from being a thief in his childhood affairs, Krishna acted as an expert thief when he was young by attracting young girls and enjoying them in the rasa dance. This is Krishna's business. He is also violent as a killer of many demons. Although mundane people like non-violence, and other such brilliant qualities, God, the absolute truth being always the same, is good in any activities, even so-called immoral activities like stealing, killing, and violence. Krishna is always pure, and he's always the supreme absolute truth. Krishna may do anything supposedly abominable in material life, yet still he is attractive. Therefore his name is Krishna, meaning all attractive. This is the platform on which transcendental loving affairs and service are exchanged. Because of the features of Krishna's face, the mothers were so attracted that they could not chastise him. Instead of chastising him, they smiled and enjoyed hearing of Krishna's activities. Thus the gopis remained satisfied, and Krishna enjoyed their happiness. Therefore, another name of Krishna is Gopi Jana Ballabha, because he invented such activities to please the gopis. Om Ajnanat Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. So here, the transcendental nature, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, that Bhagavad Gita states that the birth and activities of Lord Krishna are divyang. They're transcendental. They're not of this material world. Krishna was not a mundane moralist where he just performed mundanely moral activities. Quite the opposite. Krishna stole the butter. He passed stool and urine in nice, clean, neat houses. He stole the gopis. In this material world, to steal a woman from her husband is most abominable. And this was Krishna's pastime. He was stealing the wives of the cowherd men, and he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was violent although we consider nonviolence to be supremely spiritual, and we're nonviolent. The Supreme Personality of Godhead was engaged in wrestling with Chanura and Mustika. He was engaged in the killing. He was involved in the murder of Putana. He was the main suspect and killer of the Trinavarta demon we just read. Yet no one arrested Krishna. Neither is he on America's 10 most wanted list. That would be nice, actually, if America's most number one, Krishna, murderer of Trinavarta, killer of Putana, destroyer of. He's a thief. He's a defiler in terms of the homes of others, and he's violent. Krishna didn't just kill them peacefully in their sleep. Krishna sucked out the milk while nursing on Putana. I would think that's pretty violent. He sucked out her life air, which I can imagine must be painful from the material point of view. Spiritually speaking, that's transcendental liberation. And Krishna, besides being violent, as we said, was a murderer. And yet, we worship the Supreme Personality of God. In the material world, especially Christian Judaic beliefs, I was taught as a very young boy. I think I even saw a picture somewhere that God is an old man hunched over. He's got a white beard, long white beard. He's really not doing well. This is God. And his activity is to pretty much give people pain, give you suffering. So that when I learned to pray in my early religious teachings, when I was a young boy, I went to special parochial school after public school for a few years, I think maybe 5 years. And they taught you to pray. And my main prayer in my independence was not Hare Krishna, was not, oh my Lord, thank you for giving me this situation, was not anything glorifying God. I was simply praying, please don't punish me for the next thing I do, God. Literally. God, I know you're there and you punish everyone, and that's your main activity. Please spare me because I'm going to go do this thing. And practically speaking, that's the mentality. I wasn't so offbeat. Commit a sin, go to the priest, the rabbi, beg forgiveness, admit your sins. I did this, this, and that this week. Please forgive me. Give me our bread, daily bread. And you're absolved. But actually, we understand spiritual life is very much different. Krishna is not an old man. The Vedas tell us Who is Krishna? He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead in eternal, blooming youth. 14, 15 years old. Eternally. Where is he? He's in Goloka Vrindavan. He's not hovering over this material world, watching to see who to torture next, or who to send to the hospital next. He's in Goloka Vrindavan, enjoying his transcendental pastimes. What are his pastimes? We're reading in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. He's stealing butter from the gopis. He's stealing the clothes of the gopi girls. In this material world, you go to a lake. In America, we don't have it so much, but in other countries where the young girls are bathing and you steal their clothes and make them come out one at a time and beg for their clothing back naked, you would be arrested and put in jail for so many offenses and probably labeled in this material world a sex offender. The whole neighborhood would be alerted. They put it out, isn't it? That's how they do it these days. That this person is a sexual predator and a sex offender. But Krishna consciousness is so beautiful. Our philosophy is so wonderful that this Krishna, the stealer of the garments of the gopis, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that activity is transcendental. Janma karma chame divyam. It's not punishable by law. It's not illicit. It's not illegal. It's not in any way immoral. It's the highest transcendental activity. When I was a young man and I read that, the pastime of Krishna stealing the garments of the gopis, I immediately thought, that's my kind of God. I'm tired of the old punisher who praying to stop punishing me has not helped one bit. The pain still keeps coming. I keep getting in trouble. But this kind of God steals the garments of the... oh my God, that's my God. I can have faith in a transcendental personality like that. So attractive, so wonderful. So, although from the mundane point of view, Krishna, just like in the Mahabharata, Krishna told Yudhisthira, you tell a lie. Yudhisthira never told a lie in his whole life. But he told him, tell them Asvatam is dead. And somehow Asvatam, the elephant, is dead. The son of Drona. Drona was destroying the Pandavas. Someone had to stop him. Nothing would stop him. But his son Asvatam, when he heard that he had died from he who has never spoken a lie, Yudhisthira, he got off his chariot and ended the battle, ended his life, actually. So Krishna knew. And even though mundanely, from the mundane point of view, for Yudhisthira to tell a lie was abominable, he did it because Krishna instructed him. Similarly, Arjuna was told to shoot the arrow at Radheya when he was off his chariot. shooting the arrow at someone off their chariot, and he was trying to get the wheel out of the mud. It was stuck. And Krishna said, now. Highly immoral from the mundane point of view. But Arjuna did it. He followed Krishna's instruction and committed this mundanely abominable activity. Also, Bhima was fighting with Duryodhana, the pastimes of Mahabharata. And Krishna knew Bhima had gone to his mother for blessing. She was blind only because she was so chaste wife. She was following her husband, who was blind from birth. And she wore, what do they call, a scarf, and acted in blindness throughout, materially blind, throughout their married life. So she wanted to bless her son, Duryodhana, to become invincible. She said, come to me undressed, and I will take off the scarf and bless your whole body to become invincible, head to toe. Don't wear any clothing. Krishna caught Duryodhana on the way to seeing his mother. Said, hey Duryodhana, where are you heading? He said, I'm going for this big blessing. And Krishna said, you're not wearing any clothes? He said, yeah, my mother said she's going to. Krishna told him, you can't go in front of any woman undressed. At least cover your midsection. Wear some kind of gamcha. Cover up. So Duryodhana was getting instruction from Krishna. He covered. And when his mother gave that blessing, took off the scarf, blessed the body of Duryodhana to become invincible, that part that was covered became non-blessed. Somehow that was the benediction / curse. So Krishna and Balaram were in the arena when Bhima was fighting with Duryodhana. And Krishna knew, few people, Balaram also knew, that this Duryodhana is invincible. But actually he's vincible, he's able to be conquered below the belt. Of course, even in modern day combat, MMA, boxing, all kinds of fight combat sports, you cannot strike below the belt. It is illegal. You'll be deducted 1 point and then eventually disqualified. It's a terrible offense. Even today, in modern day athletics, what to speak, such an immoral activity to hit below the belt. Kshatriyas are fighting with their clubs. You can't hit like in that fashion. Highly illegal, immoral, against all the principles of combat. And Krishna saw that Bhima was not getting a very good upper hand, that Duryodhana was getting the upper hand. And in front of Balaram, he motioned, hit him below the belt. Even Bhima was a little stunned at first, But eventually he hit him below the belt and broke him in such a way that he destroyed, that Bhima was killed, Duryodhana was killed. So all of these, Krishna even instructs his devotees. He's transcendental. We're not so transcendental. But he instructed his dear devotees, Yudhisthira, Arjuna, Bhima, to perform gravely immoral activities. And they did. But they had to go to hell, not because of the activities. They went to hell because they hesitated in accepting Krishna's instruction. Yudhisthira was told, tell a lie. He was like, that hesitation sent him temporarily to hell. Bhima was told, hit below the belt. Bhima was like, can't do that. His hesitation sent him to hell. Arjuna was told, shoot the man off his chariot unarmed, getting the wheel out of the mud. He hesitated, and from that hesitation, he went to hell. Therefore, there's the saying, he who hesitates is lost. Of course, this was from a transcendental point of view. So Krishna's activities, Krishna's instructions, we can't fabricate. Krishna told me to do this immoral, illegal thing, therefore it's transcendental. No. We're not getting instructions directly from Krishna. We shouldn't think we're so transcendental. Krishna is transcendental. His pure devotees are transcendental. And we're being purified. Therefore, we, even from the materialistic point of view, we try to follow the moral principles under Krishna's guidance to please Krishna and to be able to preach this Krishna conscious movement in this world. We don't do anything illegal. We don't do anything to draw bad attention to the Hare Krishna society. But our Lord, from mundane point of view, he's so immoral and illegal and out of the jurisdiction of all. He performs activities that cannot be fathomed. There is a cover of one album years and years and years ago. I can't even remember the name. It was done by George Harrison. And in that album cover, there's a wall. And there's an English gentleman with one of those English hats on one side of the wall. Actually, it's called Wonderwall. And that's the reason. And you can see this on YouTube. On the higher edges of the wall, one brick is taken out, missing. So that if you reach that missing brick, which is the spiritual master, that space between the material, because the British man is walking with his British hat in the mundane world. On the other side of that wall is Krishna with the gopis. Actually, Krishna stealing the garments of the gopis, having transcendental pastime. But because the British gentleman doesn't go to the spiritual master, look through the brick in the wall, the missing brick in the wall, he never gets to see the wonderful transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, we are so fortunate that we've got to understand who is God, Krishna. Where is he, Goloka Vrindavan? What are his activities? Oh my God. Amazing, Krishna. So many transcendental activities of playing with the cowherd boys and teasing sometimes the cowherd girls. How can we get in touch with this Krishna? By chanting his name, by hearing his pastime, by associating with his devotees and eating his prasadam. Very simple scientific process, and one can be Krishnaized. Prabhupada gives the example, you plug the electric into the wall, it becomes electricized. Similarly, we plug ourselves into Krishna, the Supreme Person. We become Krishnaized. And what a beautiful Lord. He's not some old guy who just hunches around and that's us. That's not him. He's a blooming youth. Goloka namni nijadamni tale chatasya. Sri Brahma Samhita states all of Krishna's beauty and his activities. Blooming youth of 15, 16 years old, engaged in transcendental pastimes. That is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and our goal in life is to link up with him, to join in his transcendental pastime, to join up in the movement that our spiritual master has created and be part of that beautiful pastimes. Because otherwise, what's the goal? I got a letter yesterday in the mail. I put it on Archita's desk because it was addressed, Dear Sura. It was typewritten from some company called the Neptune Society. Only old people know what that is. And in the letter it said, Dear Sura, they got my attention. How they know my name? I actually have no idea where they got the name Sura. I'm the other legal name to those kind of people. They said, Dear Sura, we know that years are going by faster and faster, and as the years go by, you get less and less years in your life. Prepare now, because very soon you will die. Just contact us and we'll arrange for your cremation. They actually sent me a letter as the other guy, my Karmi name, like every 4 months. You're going to die. I think it's like cremation insurance. You pay now, get cremated later. Isn't it? They're called the Neptunes. It's actually very nice because they're constantly reminding you, your days are short, pay for it now, don't make your children and loved ones have to pay for your cremation. Pay for your own cremation, join the Neptune Society. So yesterday the one came in the mail, Dear Sura. Now it's getting personal. You said, Dear Stuart, whatever. Dear Mr. Cadets. Yeah, Mr. Cadets, okay. Yesterday, he saw. I don't know where they got this. Dear Sura. If they would have said Sura Prabhu, I would have joined. How much you need? $10 a month? You got it. But they said, Dear Sura, not even Das. Dear Sura, you know you're getting older and your days are numbered. It's an incredible letter. And I started thinking of Krishna. They're right. This Neptune guy, we should go preach to him. He really knows his stuff. Janma mrityu jaravyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Birth, death, disease, old age, they're coming. I think you reach a certain age, you get the AARP and Neptune Society. AARP I'm not so hip on, but Neptune, they got your number. They know what's happening, literally. So we have to be ready, become more and more absorbed, because death may come at any time. We don't know. I was recently in the hospital and they put me through all these procedures, poking, and to try to find out. They put me in isolation. You had to wear a spacesuit to come see me, and no people could see me, only doctors and nurses. Because they thought maybe he's got this terrible, terrible disease. Then the boss of that doctor who said I had that disease said, who's the idiot who said you had that disease? You just had simple pneumonia and kidney infection. That's no big deal. But while I was there, I was being towed around to different tests. And one test was, they call MRI. It's a serious test. They put you in a tube 3 feet above your head and shoulder to shoulder inside of a dark tube. Kind of scary. They want to see, they had put radiation all through the body, taking out your blood, radiating it, put it back in to see where is the infections, where is the bright spot, where does the radiation of Fukushima light up your body. I asked the doc, is that like the best radiation? They took out a ton of blood, just think it was like, a quart. They radiated it, sent it to Fukushima, brought it back, and put it back in me. I said, is this the best thing? They said, yeah, we'll be able to tell everything. You'll feel a little light and dizzy. I felt like a Christmas tree in New York City, downtown. I was lit up with radiation. Then they put you in this long tube. As I was going to the tube, of course I was on some kind of drug, I see devotee mother from our community. And I was like, but I had this crazy mask and I'm all covered up. So I pointed at her, she looked at me, and she thought there's some crazy old dying guy. He's a stalker still. And she was at the bedside of one of our dear devotees of ISKCON, who comes temple every day, who apparently was taking some heavy test. And as they were wheeling me away, I had the big mask. And they were looking like, who is this? Somebody call 911. Call the hospital security. This guy's harassing us. And we're here. So you never know when something's going to happen. You may get some disease, you may be hit by a car, unfortunately. God forbid, Krishna forbid. But this material world means dukhayalam ashashvatam. And we have to be ready to think of these transcendental pastimes of our immoral Lord, mundanely immoral Lord. The glorious transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. And then, at the final time of death, when the prediction of the Neptune society comes true, we are prepared to join Krishna somehow or other in his transcendental pastimes. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Brigu, you wanted to say something? No, comments. How doing what? Because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why is Krishna's activities transcendental? Everything he does is transcendental because he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are not transcendental. We are not God. Therefore, everything we do, practically speaking, in this world is immoral. Except for chanting Hare Krishna and eating Krishna Prasad and reading Prabhupada's books and worshiping the deities and engaging in Krishna consciousness. All glory Sri Guru and Gauranga.